Well, hey y'all, it's me, Travis. I am the Reluctant Homesteader, and today we're going to be talking about building a brooder box. I've never built a brooder box before. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a brooder box until like 4 days ago. So my wife bought some baby chicks. So they're on their way here to us right now. Actually, they're in the mail coming to us. So they should be here in, I don't know, a day or two. I don't know how this works. I've never done this before. We're figuring it out as we go. So anyways, we're figuring out what we need to do for these baby chicks, and we're doing all the research online. And okay, you need to put them in a brooder box for a few weeks while they grow with a heater to keep them warm. This might make sense to some of you guys, but it was all new to me. I still don't understand it all. So we said, okay, we need to build a brooder box, keep them inside. So we wanted to do it on the cheap. So we just used scraps we had laying around in the garage. So got to do the whole thing for $0, which is fun. But it's a really simple build, but you know, as we're reading up on everything with raising chicks, the brooder box is, you know, as important as the chicken coop. Getting them started off right in their first few weeks of life. So yeah, we're gonna get into how I built a brooder box, and I can already tell you, I don't think I would do it the same way again, but we'll talk about that as we go. So let's jump into it. All right, so the first thing I did was I designed the brooder box in Google SketchUp. I use Google SketchUp a lot for work, so I'm really familiar with it. It's really easy for me to use. So this is it, simple layout of the brooder box. Built everything with the dimensions and measured out, 2x4 lumber and everything like that. Then I use an extension called Cut List to get all of my measurements for all my cuts and everything like that. This guy is so great. It gives you, the part number. That's not super important for me right now. The quantity, and then the descriptions. That's where like the post description is really important, because it shows me 4 posts at this length, this width, this dimension. Again, it was a simple build, so I could just lay it out this way really quickly and easily. So then I just print that, and I printed that, and I printed the SketchUp diagram as well. Took that out to the garage and got ready to cut. So really simple cut. Just measure out the board for the 2x3 foot bottom. Have my son helping me out. By helping me out, I mean kind of watching as I did stuff. He doesn't like the sound of the saws and everything, so he runs and hides whenever I have to use that. My original plan was to make this 2 foot by 3 foot, but the scrap board that I had laying around was already 23.5 by 33.5, so I just went with that. So then I just cut the posts, drilled the posts. This is going inside of our house, so I pre-drilled and decided to countersink all of the screws, especially on the bottom, just to be sure we didn't scratch up the floor or anything like that. So getting the posts on there, again, nice and simple, really easy. Then I decided to do one bracing on the back of a 2x4. I didn't add any other bracing anywhere else. The only reason I added that bracing was because that's where I was going to put the hinges, so I wanted that to be extra strong. So then go to cut the trim pieces that I need, and amateur hour over here. This is where my camera battery dies. So this is what the brooder box looks like after I've got the posts attached and the bracing. Here's my 6-inch panels that I cut, just to try to keep some of the mess in from the chickens as they're scratching around and everything. So my original plan was to wrap the poultry netting around those 2x4 posts. That's one thing that I really wish I would have done differently. What I would have liked to have done now, looking back at it, is maybe just build 4 individual panels, 4 individual frames, and just flattened out the poultry netting and stapled it to those, and then screwed those together as a box. It was just really a big pain to wrap the poultry netting to begin with. The poultry netting that I had laying around was 3 foot wide, This brooder box is only 18 inches tall, so too much, double what I needed for the height. So trying to wrap it around was really difficult, and then it also made getting the poultry netting tight, as tight as possible. I think poultry netting is it's hard to work with, so getting it tight just wasn't really going to happen anyways. But I think I could have gotten a little bit better, quite a bit better, if I had built 4 separate frames, nailed the poultry netting, stapled the poultry netting onto that, and then built the box from those 4 frames with the poultry netting already on it. But it's not what I did, so I stuck with my plan, and it really wasn't that great. So I would definitely do that differently next time. So here it is at this point. I got the poultry netting around there, got the trim pieces on. You can see I screwed on all of the trim pieces. I didn't want to use my finished nailer just because I'm afraid my kids are gonna rip it off. So you can see here what I was saying about not being able to get the poultry netting very tight. It's really loose. As I pull on the front here, you'll see just how loose it is. So I went back and did staple it to the trim pieces, and that helped. It's fine now. So here is the finished brooder box. Got the hinges on the back, got a handle on the top there on the lid, got a little eye hook latch there, not to keep the chickens in, but to keep my kids out. If I didn't put that on there, then they would definitely be opening it up all the time and messing with the chicks, and we don't want that. Still need to figure out how to clean up the edges of that poultry netting there, because it's still pokey. So if you have any ideas, let me know. I decided not to do pocket holes on the bottom, and instead just strap the pieces of the top together, just because I was trying to be cheap. So just cut those straps out of the plywood that I had, some 1/2-inch plywood, and just screwed them on. So that's it. That's the brooder box. Really simple. We've got the bedding for them. We've got the feed for them. We've got the little food trough and watering trough thing for them. So we're ready for the chicks whenever they get here. Like I said, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. They just shipped it today. Again, I don't know how it all works. But like I said, the one thing I would do differently for sure is probably build 4 panels with the poultry netting and then attach those together for the box. I think I would also make it a little bit larger. Like I said, my original goal was to shoot for 2 foot by 3 foot. I'm just under that because of the scrap panel that I had for the kind of the floor sheathing of it. Because now that I'm reading on it more, I'm seeing that as they get to be 5-6 weeks old, they really need about a square foot per chicken. When they first come in, they need like a 1/4 square foot per chick. So not much space at all. What we have is plenty for that. Another place I read said that when they get to be 6 weeks old, they need about a 1/2 square foot per chick. So like we're kind of just right there. We got 10 chickens, by the way. I didn't say that, I don't think yet. We got 10 chicks because that's just the way we had to order them. So we got 10. So by the time they hit 6 weeks old, this brooder box might be too small. My plan there is to maybe just take off one side of the current brooder box and then just, screw in together another, extra square footage for them as they need it, which will be nice. It's not taking up a whole lot of space in our office area for too long, and it can, grow as they need to grow. So that might actually work out nicely, but I would definitely build it as 4 separate panels, screw those panels together, and then put the floor sheathing piece on it then. So that's it. We'll let you guys see when the chicks get here and see how the brooder box actually works with actual animals in it. Actual baby chicks in our house.